So when the communism in Europe you're fighting fell, the NGOs did not disband. Somehow they got bigger. They got more money. They got more power. And now they've truly become, they label themselves the protectors of democracy. And now they believe that any challenge to them is challenging, quote unquote, democracy. But really, it's the democracy they set up in this soft power structure underneath our null.
And it's Democrats and Republicans?
Yes. I cannot tell you enough how much both are involved. It is everywhere. Now we even have members of Congress. So we have sitting members of Congress that actually sit on the NGOs right now. They vote in Congress for money for themselves, and they sit on the same NGOs that they're voting to get money. It is a huge conflict of interest, and it's buried very deep.
Is it all about the money?
I think they're the way to do it.
Listen, I think they believe they're doing a good mission.
That's say that
I believe that they've told themselves that
they went for the
I think they truly believe that without their influence that the Western world will fall.
place with their parents.
And it means that their power is top priority. And
Also,
that also means that obviously their finances are the top priority. So yes, to answer your question, it is all about the money. But they tell themselves a good story, all villains do.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, we are in tumultuous times. We are in turbulent times, if you will, such that we are trying to make America great again. And all you and I can do is support the current administration as they do the work. But sometimes support matters. And here we have Donald Trump, who is leaning on the first buddy, Elon Musk. And Elon Musk goes out into the wilderness, out into the atmosphere, out into the environment, and he finds the brightest, the best and the brightest, the nerdiest, the most genius people he can find. Say, hey, we understand what we're up against. We understand that there have been decades of corruption in America. There have been things that have been destroyed. There have been things that have been hidden. There are things that have been strategically stashed away so that they can never be found or only found by certain people. We need you to help us find it because we're trying to make America great again. And in order for America to be great again, we're going to have to uncover some of these dirty deeds. Going to have to air out some of this dirty laundry. Well, that's where DOGE comes in. And you find that while you're trying to make America great again, y'all, there is so much blowback against DOGE. We've seen it in the news media. We've seen it from our elected officials. Everybody has a problem with DOGE. DOGE is an enemy of the state. We got to demonize DOGE. Well, all DOGE is a few little young nerds that Elon has found that are going to help him uncover some things that the government has been hiding from the people. And so far, they're doing a bang-up job, in my opinion. Well, here we have this story of one of these such nerds, one of these such geniuses. She's deaf. She's nonverbal. And it makes me harken back to the days when I was in undergrad and I took up ASL as my foreign language requirement, and I was fluent in American Sign Language, and I felt so good about being able to communicate in that way. As it turns out, I didn't have many deaf friends. So I wasn't able to use it as often as I would. And over time, over the decades since I've been in undergrad, oh my goodness, it's been a while. But since that time, I have lost that fluency. Don't feel good about it, but seeing this video reminded me of those times that this woman who can't hear, who can't speak, can communicate in such a way that her genius shines through. And she has linked up with DOGE. She is connected to the effort to make America great again, and she is going to use her sensibilities, her genius, her intellect, and she's going to bring this thing to the forefront, uncovering some misdeeds of government actors, those who've been hiding behind the federal government. And we sit here and we think, oh, that's just a federal government building. No, 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 no. It's people in there. People with personalities and attitudes and lifestyles. There's some criminals in there that are engaged in misdeeds and criminal acts that want to use their government position to maintain a lifestyle better than you and I. Well, thank goodness for President Trump. Thank goodness for DOGE being on the case with geniuses like this.
Then he started attacking the rule of law left and right. And I'm litigating all these cases, fair disclosure. Oh, the Constitution says that people born here are citizens. Oh, no. I say what the Constitution is, not what everybody has always agreed, pick and choose. And the court stopped him. I just got a preliminary injunction in that case. Oh,
That's great.
going.
Congratulations.
The identities of all Americans that are in the Treasury system. I'm going to send a bunch of young hackers from DOGE into the Treasury systems to pour over that legally protected information. I got an order in that case. Oh, the FBI, their names are protected by the Privacy Act and the Constitution. Never mind that. I'm going to publish 6,000 FBI agents and personnel who worked on the January 6th case. I got a court order on that. And on and on and on and on. I probably worked on 10 cases. I just filed another one. They got into the Office of Personnel Management. They're pouring over, the DOGE is pouring over these records. They have no right to these records. So the story is shock and awe, like never before seen in American history. You can't describe it as a presidency. It's a crime wave. But the flip side of that is that rule of law, the courts, civil society, democracy activists, thousands of people just like me. Fortunately, there's not too many that are just like me, but thousands of colleagues, have joined in. And the shock and awe of democracy has been greater than Trump's illegalities. And last point, he's complaining about it. He and all his cronies are bitter. So we've come full circle to attacking the law, which is how he started his presidency.
Oh, how beautiful it is when these left-wing lawyers get exposed for their anti-American ideals. Y'all, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew there would be opposition. We saw what it was in Donald Trump 1.0, so we know it's going to be 10x in Donald Trump 2.0. You got people who are fighting for their lives, like Comey. Good old Jim Comey, former director of the FBI who fostered a culture of corruption in that organization, who fostered a culture of illegality in that organization that was allowed to fester. Even after Comey was fired by Donald Trump in his first term, you got Christopher Wray, another lifelong FBI operative who got in there, didn't do anything corrective. No, just maintain the status quo. Well, now we got Kash Patel. And just as Kash enters the FBI, on this very day, y'all, there was supposed to be some Epstein files released. We were supposed to get some new information. Turns out we got some old information that we've already had years ago. Turns out it's been rumored that people in the FBI in the Southern District of New York have been destroying files, even as Kash was delayed in being confirmed. Now, I need y'all to think about this, because the Democrat Party put the brakes on Kash's confirmation in the Senate. Is it possible? Think about it, y'all. Just go with me here. Is it possible that while the Senate was putting the brakes on Kash Patel's confirmation, that they knew that there were documents being shredded and burned and destroyed in the Southern District of New York, such that the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, sent a letter to Kash Patel and said, hey, I've been looking for these documents for weeks now, even before your confirmation. I understand you only been in there a couple days, but here's what you are faced with on day one. Here's the issue. I asked for these documents long ago, and someone in your department is putting the brakes on this. Someone in your department is putting the kibosh on this. I need you to find out who in your department is not loyal to America. I need you to find out who in your department is participating in seditious activity. And I need you to bring them to the forefront, because I am the Attorney General of the United States. I am going to prosecute them to all hell. We're going to convict them and send them to Gitmo. Well, maybe not, but we can only dream, right? So here's what we have, y'all, with these lefty lawyers out here bragging on podcasts that they are trying to gum up the works, grind the gears of government. Y'all didn't do none of this while Joe Biden was the president, even though we know Joe Biden was never the president. I hope they get to the bottom of it and figure out who was making decisions while he was the figurehead in office. Obama. Because we know Joe Biden was never a decision maker. Ah, America the Beautiful.
So Norm Eisen, he runs an NGO called State United Democracies Center, State United Democracy Center. It's actually full of big names like
David,
Janet
Devil, the Panda,
Napolitano,
Tan, Wicks,
Tom Ridge,
Mexican,
Michael
Deal,
Steele.
Eva, Smith,
You know, many famous names are involved in this specific NGO. Now, that NGO accepts $17 million in private donation. So I was researching,
Wait, did it?
what do they do? Like, with $17 million,
Think.
I started researching.
Okay.
But the only thing I could find, and I was digging, but the only thing that I found,
Loved it. So,
they made a knockoff Muppet show.
that's what it.
You think I'm kidding? They actually made puppets, Muppets, but like knockoff puppets.
It's a computer that look at the with
And all the videos that they made with these knockoff puppets had less than 200 views.
they speak names.
So I'm wondering, all those big names, all those famous people at the NGO, and the only thing they did with $17 million was make a terrible Muppet show. They got money and they did something with that. It was just awful. Jim Henson would roll in his grave.
I saw the video on your ex of the Muppet.
Yes.
Says and
Yeah, I know.
because we because okay
And it was weird because all the videos had less than 200 views.
have so
They didn't even try to promote them with ads or anything. So where did the $17 million go?
America is asking, where is the money? The money that has been siphoned from USAID. The money that has been siphoned from the Social Security Department, the IRS, every major department of government, y'all, there have been people in place. Crooked people. This is the bureaucracy that you hear about. See, people fight and they work in government for 20 years, 30 years, and they fight to get to those positions where they control a department. And that's where the power lies of this bureaucracy, because see, you can have some little department somewhere in Washington, D.C. that no one cares about. And your department head has the power to make decisions based on a budget that is given to that department every year. And they fight for more money every year, such that if they get to the end of the year and they ain't spent all the money, they start punking it off. Like, yo, we can't come under budget. God forbid that would happen, that we would come in under budget. Then they won't give us as much next year. They won't give us more. We got to spend all this money, even if we got to punk it off. And you got people in those positions who say, hey, my budget is $1 billion for my department. So if I spend $1 million on printer paper or ink cartridges or paper clips, no one's going to miss it. No one's going to even question it in this modern day government. So how about I have my brother-in-law set up a paperclip company and I throw him the no bid contract? How about I have my father set up a company that refurbishes ink cartridges and we give him a no bid contract and throw $1 million over there? Nobody's going to miss it. Nobody's going to question it. Nobody's going to say anything. And yet I'm enriching my family. This is the kickback scheme that is possible when you have an unelected bureaucracy that is controlling government.
How does Pennsylvania make sure elections are safe, secure, and accurate? Come on in, I'll show you. After all voter rolls are checked and all equipment is tested and secured, registered voters can begin casting their ballots. In Pennsylvania, there is a paper record of every single vote. Every cast ballot is secured, tracked, and put under strict chain of custody rules. We actually secure and preserve the ballots for almost 2 years, according to federal law. Trusted local election officials check that absentee and mail-in ballots are signed and verified to be from a registered voter and arrived by Election Day before they are counted. All of our ballot counting machines meet rigorous federal security standards.
I use AI to analyze the Form 990s, that we can find, the award searches. People can search all of that. And what the AI does is it helps to figure out the connections. And the information's been out there. My website helps you search it, but the AI is what puts the connections together. And it helps me figure out the relationship. The other use of AI was back in December. And we used AI to read 1,000 pages omnibus, the omnibus bill. And so we used the AI to go through the omnibus bill and read those thousands of pages to help us understand, because thousands of pages of reading, one human, 10 humans.
I know your focus was USAID. What's next? Is there a certain part of the government now that you are really focusing in on?
Yeah, two things. So my project right now is to work on analyzing connections and relationships between people in the government, because if you research me long enough, you start to notice that they're all working together. They're all married. They're all in-laws. They know each other. They all sit on the same board for many years. It's my project to map those relationships and put it on my website.
Are you ever scared? Because exposing things like that, the ways people are making big money secretly within our government, seems like it could put you at risk.
Oh, yes, we had to change the way we live entirely, quickly. But sometimes God calls you for a mission, and you must answer that call.
And this, y'all, is the power structure that is fighting back against the Trump administration, Trump 2.0. Well, not only do you got Trump in there, who has a chip on his shoulder, who is a bull in a china shop, ready to wreck things, but you got Elon Musk, who is saying, if we don't do this, there will be no more America. And he don't want America to go nowhere. He's trying to get to Mars. Listen, he's not only bored with America, he's bored with Earth. And he's saying, look, Earth is boring to me. I'm going to Mars. Y'all catch up with me. This is where we going. This is what we doing. But if America fails, then my whole operation fails and I never get to Mars. I never get to realize my dreams and my imagination. Yeah, it's a little selfish for Elon. But I'm going to give him that grace and allow him to be selfish in this moment, because he's going to save this country, at least play a role in it. And we're thankful for that. Y'all let me know what you think about this and all this chaos that's about to go down. I told you it was going to be rough rides ahead. but we're okay with it because we have faith and we know that God will see us through it all. Some of these issues ain't got nothing to do with us. We just gonna sit back, fold our arms, and watch it happen. Some of the other things we're gonna get active in, we're gonna talk about. We're gonna really put some messages out there and try to be active in correcting this government. Thank God for Donald Trump. Thank God for DOGE. Thank God for America. May God bless it. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.